Welcome to the last installment of JD and I's Oscar picks. Pick these if you want to win the Oscars. It's as simple as that, especially on these categories because they're really easy to pick. We're going to start off with Adapted Screenplay.
Not a lot of shock and surprise probably on your way right now. But Best Adapted Screenplay, Simon Beaufoy for Slumdog Millionaire, David Hare for The Reader, Peter Morgan for Frost Nixon, John Patrick Shanley for Doubt, and Eric Bubba Gump Roth and Robin Swycord for The Curious Case of Benjamin Button.
I think that the jury is out, or no, the jury's not out. The jury is in on the Curious Case of Benjamin Button. It's lost all of its thing. It had, 13 nominations, I think, more than any other picture. It's going to win some costume, and it's going to win, or not costume, probably art direction and special effects for making Brad Pitt old, but it's not going to win the Screenplay Award because he ripped off Forrest Gump, the same screenwriter.
It's a pretty tragically flawed screenplay, so
Yeah,
I would imagine
really
it would not get nominated in this category, but it did.
So who's going to win?
So I'm going to say Slumdog Millionaire is
Really?
probably
Slumdog
certainly going to
Millionaire.
win. Yeah.
Interesting pick.
Which may be a theme that we develop here over the next several minutes.
Let's see
Next
what
category, Best Director.
Danny Boyle for Slumdog Millionaire, who's won 21 awards for this already, including the Directors Guild Award. And then there were some other people. Stephen Daldry for The Reader, David Fincher, Curious Case of Benjamin Button, Ron Howard for Frost Nixon, and lastly Gus Van Sant for Milk. It's a done deal. Danny Boyle's going to win. He's won every single award, and why not? Honestly, if you look at this list of people that they nominated, which is not my favorite list in recent memory, especially after No Country for Old Men and There Will Be Blood last year, which were badass movies, I think, Danny Boyle deserves it. I mean, it was a great film. It's very energetic. It's the way he directed it, it's got, life stamped all over it. I mean, it's just it's a film that's totally alive. It doesn't sit around like Button and some of the other films that are nominated this year.
It's really great that you brought up those two pictures, No Country for Old Men and There Will Be Blood. These are really fantastic pictures that are unique and interesting and push the boundaries of filmmaking. You put Slumdog Millionaire up against either of those two pictures and it totally makes sense. They are of the same ilk, right? You look at a picture like The Reader, you look at a picture like Frost Nixon, you look at a picture like The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, and those movies are paperweights.
Not even close.
Compared to what's going on there. We're talking heavyweight and featherweight comparatively. So, I mean, I really don't understand what some of these pictures are doing in this category, in any of these categories. Slumdog Millionaire, absolutely.
I'll tell you what they're doing there, or at least I'll tell you what The Reader is doing there. Harvey Weinstein led a huge campaign as normal, and The Reader is the same guys that we just talked about for director are also the picture nominees. And let me just say that The Dark Knight was screwed out of a nomination by Harvey Weinstein, basically, because that one and Christopher Nolan's director nod, which should have happened, instead went to Stephen Daldry, who has only made 3 films and been nominated for Best Director for all of them.
The fact that Chris Nolan was left out of this category is just shameful, because again, although I don't necessarily know that it belongs in the category of the 3 films I was just talking about, The Dark Knight is an incredibly interesting film that takes superhero movies and comic book movies and turns it on its ass. I mean, it's a different
And it's
take.
really culturally relevant right now.
It is.
And at least it was.
There's something about that film that would make it so much better suited to be in the Best Director or the Best Picture categories, and it's not there. And people should be aware of the fact that the studios push agendas, and The Reader is maybe the most clear-cut case of that I've ever seen, because that film is totally subpar, only eclipsed by the subparness of Curious Case of Benjamin Button.
So another side note, just really quickly, Titanic is the biggest movie of all time, right? It made the most money of anything. It was a shoo-in to win, and it won. Titanic is in that grand tradition of Ben-Hur and all that other stuff, right? The big epic movies. Well, guess what, kids? The Dark Knight was way more critically acclaimed than Titanic, and where is it? It's not even here. So that's all I'm going to say, except that Slumdog Millionaire is going to win this, and you already knew that. So congratulations, Danny Boyle, and everybody from that cast. It was a great movie.
Absolutely. Speaking of Slumdog Millionaire, let's talk about Best Picture.
No, we're done. That was it.
No, that was Best Director.
No, I said it was the same ones. We're finished.
Really?
Yeah, it's the same 5 things. We're done.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the fact that if Curious Case of Benjamin Button were to win,
it won't.
But if it were, it would be the Jethro Tull beats Metallica moment of all time. Can you imagine the sting if Benjamin Button got any awards in these categories over Slumdog Millionaire?
It would be like Crash beating Brokeback Mountain in Munich.
Yeah, I used to claim that if Clint Eastwood were to win anything for that really, really tragically god-awful movie, $1 Million Baby, that my rage would allow me to teleport to Los Angeles and punch him right there on stage. It didn't happen, but I tell you what, anybody other than Slumdog Millionaire wins this year, and I will try the same thing again and see if I can't rage myself to LA to kick The Curious Case of Benjamin's balls. Because I want to do that so bad. That is a terrible movie. Slumdog's great, though, and I will be very satisfied when it wins.
Me too. Isn't it good to have him back?
I'll see you in a couple months.